first time signing on to the call for the World Can't Wait is a candidate for president. Who I was happy to meet through the anti-war movement. And he's someone that I followed for quite a long time because he is responsible in a very significant way for the fact that the Pentagon Papers ever came to light. Daniel Ellsberg worked, as you know, for many years to leak these and to bring them to the light of day. But this man, who was then a senator, a U.S. senator, was very influential in the Pentagon Papers being published. And there's another thing that he did, along with his 12 years in the Senate, which is also very important for my generation. He did a 5-month sole filibuster to stop the draft. For the first time, speaking with the World Can't Wait and in the impeachment movement, Senator Mike Gravel.
Let me thank the group that I'm sitting with at the dais, and thank them for their leadership, and thank them also for providing you the leadership and for your turnout to create a climate that needs to take place in this country, and that is to create this climate of impeachment so that the Congress can begin to feel the pressure. It does not feel the pressure sufficient at this point in time. I can tell you that. When politicians get pressure, they respond. And they're not responding yet. Focus on the House of Representatives. That's where the bill of impeachment was filed, and that's what needs to happen with that Democratic leadership, to hear your words and to feel your pressure. I'm running for president for basically 2 reasons. One is, and this will surprise you, I want to make you, all of you lawmakers, I want to bring you into the operation of government with the real power that government has, and the power to make laws. To make laws. You are qualified to vote on every policy issue that affects your life. Every issue. And let me tell you, if you had the national initiative power in place today, you could impeach the President of the United States by initiative. You wouldn't have to wait for the Congress. That's the power that you would have. Let me just segue for a moment into Scooter Libby. We're told that obviously we commuted a sentence. I don't think people fully understand. At 23 years old, I was a top secret control officer in the intelligence community. Let me tell you about what they did with Valerie Plame. They committed treason. This is not lie. This is treason. If a president or anybody else, any administration, were to give information about troop movements, about the picket duties of our submarines in both oceans, that would be treasonous. It's no different. It's no different when you release the name of a secret agent in the CIA. That's treason. It goes to the Vice President, and Scooter Libby is the least of it. And the reason why they don't permit him to serve a day in jail is because they learned from Maximum John Sirica. Put him in jail, and they'll sing like canaries. And that's what would have happened. They had Scooter Libby gone to jail. This chapter is not over with, not by a long shot. If any of you were interviewed as you walked out by the FBI, and you told a lie, you would be committing a felony. Well, what is it when the President of the United States tells a lie to the American people, and the Vice President repeatedly lies to the American people, and thousands of Americans die, and hundreds of thousands of Iraqis die? Is that not a crime? Is not only impeachable. Go to jail. Go to jail. That's what they need to have happen to them. Go to jail. We made a mistake. you focused on Pelosi. Let me tell you that Pelosi and Leader Reid, their job, if the 4 members, and I exclude in all of the statements I'm making here after this, Dennis considers, because he doesn't fall in that category. But if the 4 members of the Senate who are running for the president went up to Pelosi, went up to Reid and said, look, like they just did, you know, Clinton, Hillary, and Obama went to Reid and said, we need to have a vote so that we can look good. So what he did is he brought up a symbolic vote. They voted 4 times against the war, but then we appropriated $100 million+ for the war. That's hypocrisy at its highest level.
Absolutely.
And I say that
absolutely.
In the face of debates, of course they're not debates, you only get a minute or 30 seconds, but this is just beginning the process. But keep in mind, they could immediately end this war if they wanted to.
Yes.
They could end this war. On May 14th, I sent to the Congress a piece of legislation and the tactics of implementing this legislation. And the legislation was the Withdrawal Act. What the Withdrawal Act said, stop the funding, withdraw the troops, and the President must certify with the passage of this law that he must certify that the troops are out in 120 days. The Vice President must certify, the Secretary of Defense must certify, and the Secretary of Treasury must certify. If they don't so certify, they commit a felony and they go to jail for 5 years without the possibility of parole. Now that's a law for the federal nation. Let me tell you how the tactic we do is. Well, we don't have the votes. What do you mean you don't have the votes? The votes are there in the Congress. All you got to be tough enough is to go rip it from their bodies. They'll vote. When you turn around and you do this in the Senate with respect to cloture, but you do it, let's just address overriding the President's veto, because he'll veto this legislation. What you do is on the first day, you have a vote to override. On the second day, a vote to override. These votes only take a half hour every single day, 7 days a week. No recesses. That alone will make the Congress move. They'll have to stay there during August. I promise you, that tactic of repeating over and over again these votes so you can see and identify, and the peace movement can see and identify who is maintaining this war. You'll see these politicians wither on the vine for the very hour. That's how we get out. Let me just add that responsibility lies with those people who say they're qualified to run for president. I'm going to tell you, if they can show qualification in the positions they hold, then they're not qualified to become president of the United States. Just that simple. Let me reserve the balance of my time for the Q&As that you may want to address to me. But let me just say this, that this lady here was so gracious. She articulated something I hear all the time. My God, Senator, you're a breath of fresh air. It's not a question of getting elected or will they get elected. That's not, people don't focus on that. It's just a breath of fresh air. Well, you know something? I'm proud of being a breath of fresh air, but don't count me out as far as getting elected. Anything can happen in this democracy, and I'm counting on one thing, the American people to be fed up with the partisanship, the namby-pamby leadership, the gutless wonders that are presently in control of the Congress of the United States. Yeah. And I'll tell you, don't worry about the Republicans. That'll be easy. What we need is something to happen right now in the course of this. And bear in mind, we heard the statement of Lee Iacocca in his new book. The title of it is, "Where Have All the Leaders Gone?" Well, let me just tell you one thing. This leader is back.